Hello there Sony fans, welcome to the video. Today is a special day. It's the release of the Xperia 1 Mark III, at least the official release on the specifications. And the point of this video is we're going to compare the specifications of the 1 Mark III versus this phone here, which is my Xperia 1 Mark II. I have a lot of praise for this phone, and the Mark III is coming out in a few months. So the question is, should you buy this, or should you buy the 1 Mark III, or should you buy the other new phones that are coming out, the 5 III and the 10 III? Let's talk about it now. So the confirmed specs of the Xperia 1 Mark III are as follows. The first thing is it comes with Android 11, as does all the other phones that were announced today, the 5 Mark III and the 10 Mark III. But the Xperia 1 Mark III has an ace up its sleeve over all these phones, including this one. It's a 4K display, just like this, OLED 21:9. But it is the world's first 120Hz display on an OLED panel, 6.5 inch. So it's the world's first 120Hz OLED display. And that to me is pretty crazy. I heard some rumors about this before. I thought it was actually going to end up being like 75Hz or 90Hz because 120Hz OLED, HDR, all this adds up to a lot of cost, a lot of bandwidth requirements as well, and that's a lot on the battery. So yeah, but they went ahead and did it, 120Hz, which is fantastic. Sony have also put in 240Hz motion processing tech, which this phone does not have as well. It has a factory calibrated screen too from the factory, obviously. So that means they have got the white point. So basically, there's this thing called white point when you're color grading a display, and D65 is basically the correct color of white, and if you can get that, the rest of the colors kind of fall into place. And they say that they've calibrated this to be as accurate as their cinema monitors that they actually produce movies with. It also has the Sony X1 Bravia HDR engine too. It has not got rid of the 3.5mm headphone jack, if you can see that, guys, which is one of my favorite features of these Sony phones, and micro SD as well, which is fantastic. It's fantastic for people who care about taking photos and being able to take this thing out and put it into a computer. It's fantastic for people who want to put headphones, wired headphones, into their phone, which is unbelievable. A lot of companies are getting rid of this now. The other big upgrade, I think, is that you're able to get high res audio, okay, but over wire or wireless now, which is great. And they have boosted the loudness over the wire with less distortion, which means that they must have upgraded the headphone amplifier on the phone, which is it's a serious move. It shows that Sony is a serious company when it comes to audio. Another thing it does, it upmixes your 2-channel music into spatial audio if you like that sort of stuff. Me personally, I'm kind of a purist. I like to keep things as it was, but if you like, you know, new features and stuff, you can get stereo music and upmixes it into 360 spatial audio, which is pretty cool. Again, we have the front-facing speakers, which is really, really important, I think, if you want real stereo, and it's Dolby Atmos enabled as well. The CPU, the chipset, has been upgraded to the Snapdragon 888, which is the latest chipset, which is what we expected from a flagship. We also have 4500 mAh battery, which is a 500 milliamp upgrade to the Xperia 1 II, so it should be a little bit better. We also have a kind of guarantee from Sony that it's going to last a minimum of 3 years under normal use as well, so that's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good, especially when you can't remove batteries these days. How much RAM has it got? It's got 12 gigabytes of RAM, and you have 2 storage options, 128 gigabyte and 256 gigabyte, which is perfect for me. So the other big upgrade is for the camera. We've all been waiting for this. This Sony Xperia 1 Mark II had a brilliant camera. I still think it's got a fantastic camera. And the Mark III has a 16mm, a 24mm, a 70mm. So this has a 16, 24 and a 70. And the Mark III has a 105mm lens as well, which means we're going to be able to zoom in even further. And Sony say this is the world's first dual position telephoto sensor as well, another world's first for Sony. So it shows that they're taking zoom pretty seriously this year, and that was one of the big complaints from last year and the year before, and it shows that Sony are really delivering the goods. Another fantastic feature for those of you who love photography is that you can plug your Sony Alpha camera into this, and you can use basically these Sony Xperia phones now as a viewfinder. And that's actually was rolled out to the Xperia 1 Mark II, and this feature is going to be rolled out to the Mark III models as well, which is fantastic. You're going to have 3 colors with the Xperia 1 Mark III. So they're going for a frosted theme this year. Frosted grey, frosted black, and frosted purple. Which color am I going to be going for? I think this year I might give it a break from black. Getting a bit bored of that. Might move on to frosted purple this year. It's a bit out there, but we'll see. The other feature that we have concerns charging. So obviously they've kept the USB-C as we'd expect, but the charger is 30 watts and we expect it to charge the phone to 50% capacity within 30 minutes. Now, the Xperia 5 Mark III is almost the same phone as the Xperia 1 Mark III, but here are the key differences. I'm going to let you know now. So first of all, it comes in different colors. Black, green, and pink are the colors. And the big difference, I would say, is the screen. The screen is full HD plus, so it's not the 4K 120 Hz OLED that we get in the 1 Mark III. It is full HD plus. It is 6.1 inches, so it's a little bit smaller. Still an OLED display, but it's full HD plus OLED 6.1. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a very good compromise considering the money that you save. The 10 Mark III is the even more value option in the Sony Xperia range, and this is what it has. It still has the 5G. It actually still has the 4500 mAh battery, which I think is very generous for a budget phone. The screen is 6 inches, so it's even smaller. It's not really small, is it? HDR enabled. It's still an OLED. It's still 21:9 aspect ratio, which is great. The thing that they've dropped with the Xperia 10 Mark III is the 360 spatial sound. If you don't care about that, then that's fine for you. Then the wired and wireless support for high-res audio, it's still there with the 10 Mark III, which is brilliant. It has 6 GB of RAM. It has a Snapdragon 690 in it, and it has 128 GB storage. And it has 3 options for your camera. So it's got 8 megapixel sensors, and you have the 16mm ultra wide lens. You've got you've got 12 megapixel 27mm lens for your standard wide, and then you've got an 8 megapixel for your portraits, and that's 54mm. Yeah, if you really want something that's focusing more on the photography, you're going to want to get the 5 Mark III and you want to get the 1 Mark III. So the one issue I have with the 1 Mark II, I hope that it improves with the 1 Mark III. In fact, 2 issues. So here they are now. And that's, first of all, it's with the video. Video is actually very good quality, but under this sort of lighting condition, this is 50 Hertz internal lighting, so it's flickering 50 times a second, right? The automatic camera, the auto camera on this phone, it flickers, so it notices that the LEDs are flickering because the shutter speed is not in time with the lighting, and you can't control the shutter speed unless you're in the Cinema Pro app, I believe. I've tried to fix this now for a while. Sony, if you're watching this, please support us users with some sort of update. I don't know why this is. It could be because we're in a different region and we have like a different frequency to you with our lighting. Maybe it's 60 Hertz somewhere else. I have no idea. But yeah, if you could support us please with that, or roll it out with a Mark III at least. I mean, I think you should do both. So that's one thing. And the second thing is, a lot of my subscribers have told me this, that I did a test recently showing that the screen brightness of the 1 Mark II was very bright, brighter than a Samsung Note Galaxy phone indoors. But as soon as you go outdoors, right, the Galaxy phones can boost their brightness even further, but the Sonys can't match outside. So if you're watching this, Sony, please can you sort that out, because a lot of my subscribers, a lot of the people commenting on my videos have noticed this. So yeah. However, Xperia 1 Mark III, 5 Mark III, 10 Mark III, overall I think it's a success. Bring it out, I want to see it. I probably will buy it in a couple of months time, and this will either get sold or I'll hand it down to whoever wants it. So yeah, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.